All right, so this week for the journal, you're going to be exploring some issues related to learning styles, metacognition, deep learning, kind of universal design, all of these different things that by understanding how you learn, you can become a more efficient, stronger learner as well. So let's take a look at some of the slides here. I've offered these both as a PDF and as a PowerPoint. So hopefully you can open them up with no real problem for that. So learning styles, it's a bit controversial in some ways because there's not a lot of good research around it. It's tied to other things, but I'm going to talk about it on what we can learn from this. And it's this idea that we want to try to understand how do we best learn. And really the problem with learning styles, if you've ever done any kind of testing to find out what style you are, which I've put some within Blackboard for you, what you might find out is that sometimes people think that then they are only one thing and it becomes problematic. So in this way, what I want you to think about in general as you think about a learning style for yourself is it's really your learning preference. How do you like to learn? What are your kind of natural go-tos? And then the whole purpose is to kind of exploit those to work for you and then fill in the back side of it with maybe the things that are a little bit more problematic for you. So just know that this is really a general sort of idea, and not to say that you are one thing versus something else. So again, if you know about your learning style, you're going to be more productive, you're going to have better achievement, be more creative, you can solve problems, you're going to ultimately make better decisions and learn more effectively. And that's one of our goals. We want to write more effectively, we want to think more effectively, we want to read more effectively. All of these pieces work together. So in kind of our old school style, uh, learning styles are categorized primarily as visual, what we see, auditory, what we hear, or tactile kinesthetic, the things that are body like body movement, touch, that sort of thing. So you have all may have heard these terms before. So if you are considered a visual learner, your preference would be learning through seeing and reading, that you like written directions, and you may be a really strong reader as well. So you're going to gravitate towards looking at pictures, other illustrations, photos, graphs, diagrams, maps. Those are the things that will appeal to you first and foremost. So some of the things that you might try to use if you find out you're a visual learner is to kind of do a mental photograph of things or to kind of replay things in your mind like a video. You may choose to use flashcards or highlight information. Maybe you like to draw pictures, or maybe you doodle in the sides of your paper, or maybe you like the idea of a map or an outline. And we're going to explore some of these different techniques through our writing as well. So you're going to have a chance to try things on, even if you don't necessarily have that as your preference. Now, auditory learners, they really focus on learning through listening and talking. And they may be better at remembering what they hear, better than maybe what they see as well. So again, these folks may want to listen to instructions orally. They may like to talk on the phone or listen to music. And they can learn best if they can hear and see the assignment. All of those things are going to work in their benefit. So one thing about auditory learners is that these are the folks that maybe get really excited about discussing what they've learned with others. They would participate in study groups. They might even recite or read aloud to themselves. And so I'm not talking about reading in class. Teaching others what they've learned, using flashcards, and they say the items, not just looking at them. And they may want to use music in the background as long as it doesn't become a distraction as well. Now, tactile kinesthetic are hands-on folks. They really learn by doing. And so maybe they might be really creative. They like to build or plant or draw or decorate. And they're going to learn best when there's a use of physical activity. So getting up and around. Hopefully you're not working out on a treadmill, doing your homework on a treadmill. So some techniques that they might choose to use, they might read while they're walking or pacing. They may study outside, take notes on lectures, highlight, write summaries, think about practical applications for the information that they've been given. So here's where we kind of forget about things. The truth of the matter is that most people are going to learn best by using a combination of these three styles. So even though you're going to have a chance within this journal to explore which style you actually are or what your preference is, you have to realize that there's a balance among all of them. So for me, I am an auditory learner primarily. And then I follow that up and I supplement with my visual and with my hands-on piece. And that's where I can become the best learner possible, when I combine all of these pieces together. So if ever you've gone through this and someone told you, well, you're a hands-on learner, it is only a preference. It doesn't mean you can't learn in other ways. It means that you have to modify things to best accommodate where your preferences are. And I'm telling you, the more you do this and the more you learn in a variety of ways, your brain actually starts to grow and change and adapt to those things. And so one thing that you're going to have a chance to look at this week as well is this idea about thinking about how you're actually doing these things. And this is that skill called metacognition. And you're going to have a chance to look some of that up and give some responses to that. So this is our quick check on learning styles. There are a couple activities in the folder for you to try on what your style might be, and then also determine some things maybe about your study habits, whether it's nighttime or daytime sorts of things. So lots of fun stuff out there. Have a great time, and I will see you in the journal.